Video 3. I always do this. Oh, but you're gonna have to get screenshots, okay? These are native plants that were used by the North and the South. Okay, so here's one important one. Sassafras was another. These may not sound that important, but dysentery was a big problem. Again, much of these were to deal with diarrhea, perhaps from cholera, so on and so forth. So, horseradish was used for a number of issues, clearing sinuses, treat bronchitis, other respiratory issues. Skullcap was used for many things: headaches, epilepsy, anxiety and depression. Ginger, again, for digestive issues. But one other aspect of health that I've mentioned before that I really want you to consider was the marches. So this is from Private Wilbur Fisk, 2nd Vermont. If a man wants to know what it is to have every bone in his body ache with fatigue, every muscle sore and exhausted, and his whole body ready to sink to the ground, let him shoulder his knapsack, haversack, gun, and equipment, and make one of our forced marches, and I will warrant him to be satisfied that the duties of war are stern and severe. This down here mentions that they often or always also carried, probably rather light, but personal items to help them deal emotionally with the war. William B. Miller said from the 75th Indiana, "It looks as though they propose to make pack mules of us." Average soldier marched 8 to 13 miles daily in all kinds of weather, on all kinds of terrain, while shouldering 30 to 50 pounds of equipment. Marching led to many health problems, including malnutrition, dehydration, hypothermia, sunstroke, headaches, nerve damage, joint and back pain, blisters, bruises, lacerations on the feet, infection, chronic cough, bone degeneration of bone spurs, muscle soreness and tearing, torn or loss of cartilage in knees and hips, leaking fluid sacs in knees. Something I've definitely mentioned, and 8 to 13 miles a day, again, was more or less the average. Certain forced marches, say by the Union on their way up to Gettysburg, were much worse. You think about Stonewall Jackson and A.P. Hill having to rush up to meet Lee in Antietam. These were serious marches, and they were often 20 miles or more per day at the double quick. So here's, I'm going to keep this one real short, guys. Here's General Hospital number 1, Frederick, Maryland. So get some screenshots. There's screenshot 1. Here's screenshot 2. Screenshot 3. Screenshot 4. This sign deals with Frederick after the Battle of Antietam and South Mountain. Screenshot 2. Screenshot 3. And here's a really cool map of the 29 hospitals in downtown Frederick after South Mountain and Antietam. here's one more screenshot. I'll read this one. Wounded soldiers. Our streets are full of wounded soldiers, many of them with one arm off. Yesterday I met two on the street. The one had his right arm off and the other had his left arm off, and another in company wounded on the knee, walking with two crutches. If you would take a walk through the town any handsome day, you might meet 80 or 100 wounded soldiers, the majority, or rather 8 out of 10 who were wounded at the Battle of Antietam. The patients, as they improve, are sent off to other hospitals, often in Baltimore. I should suppose that we have had altogether 6,000 or 8,000 wounded soldiers in our town. 22 hospitals. One vast hospital. This war was a monster that should never be forgotten. It wasn't all guts and glory, all right? It wasn't all bravery and heroism. And much of that heroism that was certainly true, and in fact, like I said, came from many of the surgeons, nurses, and also townspeople who helped all these people recover, or at the very least, took care of them until their death and made sure that they were identified and given proper burials when possible. All right, guys, I think that's the last video. Do stop by this place, National Civil War Medicine, Museum of Civil War Medicine in Frederick, Maryland. Don't miss it. See ya.